1.
Okay, so I'm going to start out by just running through my regular rotation here. Because they will get harder as you go on, so... So my health is holding out. So wasn't really worried about these first few fights. It was more the...
Don't waste my time.
1.
higher level fights that I was more concerned about. As I get closer to level 6, as I recall from doing this before, it does get a bit more difficult. So I'm just going to run through my tanking rotation. Guardian's a pretty easy class to play, so figured this would be a good first class to just kind of get familiar with the fights. Because if I recall, it's random what order the enemies you get, but they're mostly the same. So I think they just might increase like in health and damage if you get like a higher up one. I think that's how I remember it being. I could be wrong.
On your way.
2.
So,
Quickly.
1.
yeah, okay, so your rank is 1.
Move it.
Okay, well there's about the first time I've actually taken some damage that I've noticed, so that is easy enough for a tank, and there's a good proc of regrowth. So this might be a little more difficult on maybe like a cloth character, or character maybe not as geared. I've been raiding since the Undermine, so I've had fairly decent gear on this character. And I'm assuming all this is just pretty much trash to sell for gold. As long as I can get my dots out. There we go. Should be fine. If nothing else, I'll approach this as a boom cannon, just spam moonfire. So there is a kind of an upgraded version of that in the talents that I did not take, because I didn't. I took it and kind of just to see what it did, and didn't really care for it all that much. So I am now rank 2. Okay, so each rank seems to be 1,000 then?
Watch your back.
1.
Okay, now it's getting more difficult. Which is why I wanted to do this first on a tank. I want to try this on a few different characters, but for the moment, I'm fine doing this on a tank. They might be slow going, but you know you'll eventually get there, so.
Don't waste my time. Careful out there.
2. 1.
These all seem semi-familiar. The fights do anyway, so. Even with the stat squish and all the talent changes and everything, so. Yeah, I only have one interrupt, unfortunately, and it is still on cooldown. He summons a broom. Now he's summoning another broom. Unfortunately, this is one tanking spec that doesn't have any like AoE stun, so All the others do. This one, for some reason, moving away from the bomb. There we go. Did it do damage to the other ones? Am I supposed to ignore the brooms and just try to kill this guy? It's the impression that I'm getting here. Am I missing something? No, no, that was the thing. So just ignore interrupting. And just burn the guy down. So.
2, 1.
Awarded to victors of the Brawlers Guild. Use it to purchase Rumble cards. Their world-altering items. Gold exchange vendor. Okay. Where is the gold exchange vendor? I'll look after this. Okay, well, he doesn't seem to be going down. Oh, no, there we go. So he doesn't seem to be going down all that easy. Yeah, the thing I liked about Brawler's Guild before, which was about the first time I actually really did anything with it, I kind of just... I forgot it was here for the longest time. The fights aren't too terribly complicated. They're mostly just coordination, which normally I'm not a fan of, but if it's just a routine where you have to kind of rinse and repeat that, I don't mind so much. So there we go. So health is starting to go down a bit now. So
You are in for a treat.
is this no? No, these all actually cost gold. Representative to challenge. Oh, I see.
Travel
Okay.
safe.
Challenge card. There's not a lot of achievements with the Brawlers Guild. It's mainly just the rewards. So
Well met. Farewell.
you just carry food. So where is this gold? Am I missing something or?
Interesting. Daylight's burning.
Oh, right there. Hello.
What?
Oh, okay. So let's see here. Bake of chip dice. Deliver. Bouncer to enable random brawl mode for the next 30 minutes. Keg that dispenses free potions to all players for 30 minutes. Deliver 2 minutes of free drinks for everyone. VIP rental form. 10 minutes in the free VIP room. Access for everyone. Well, that doesn't cost that much because it's 1,000. I've already got 600, so.
There's work to be done.
Okay.
Speak quickly. Watch your back.
Let's queue back
2.
up. This is rather relaxing, I have
One.
to say, at the moment. Not a whole lot going on otherwise, so I finished the extensive amount of things that there was to do for the pre-patch. And yeah, so now I'm just pretty much waiting for early access. So I set up the most, if not all, the main characters I've been playing. So set up my shaman, which I usually level first in an expansion, and then my tanks, which I've been playing a lot of in the War Within, and at least am intending to play in Midnight, so should probably still set my Invoker up so I have a healer. I do have my Priest from Legion Remix, so tried to do some PvP with her. PvP's in a weird state at the end of an expansion, so, and despite what people tell you, Horde does seem to have a bit of an advantage with PvP. I don't know exactly what it is. It's not any one specific thing. You just seem to do better on Horde for some reason. So my Priest, being a human, has not been doing all that well, so that being said, I do like the training mode. So right now a lot of the currencies are warbound, so you can like honor and valor and all that you can trade. So I went ahead and did some of the training mode, which is just NPC, real players against the NPC team. And then when I got about 5,000 honor, I went ahead, and by that point I was just kind of getting repetitive, so I went ahead and transferred honor from other characters because I probably won't do anything on any other character at the moment, and got a full set of PvP gear, and then was able to trade some Valor to upgrade it. So she has a full upgraded set of gear, and I did a few just random matches, and the first few didn't go all that well. And then I had a few that didn't do bad. I think it was a combination of, well, teams for one. I made a mistake of trying to do Ashran, which probably wasn't brilliant. The queues were taking a minute, so I said, well, I'll queue up for an epic battleground. Those hadn't been, when I did PvP a while back, those weren't terrible, so I said, sure, we'll give that a try. And I died for the first time. Okay. But then after a few games, I kind of started to figure out, what I was doing again, and I think it was a combination of queued into some matches that definitely were against like some pre-made groups, so kind of had to relearn Disc Priest a bit because they made some pretty big changes. It took away Halo, which I'm very disappointed about. I didn't think it was going to be all that big of a difference. Because it wasn't something a lot of Disc Priest took. It wasn't part of like the cookie cutter build during Legion or really much after that, but it makes a big difference. They took that away. They took Renew away, which again didn't think that was going to be all that big of a difference, and was disappointed by that. And so, I mean, it's like I said, I'm getting the hang of it again, but it's just the changes, getting back into figuring out a rotation and what to use when, and then with the stat squish, I'm running out of mana a lot. So they took away Luminous Barrier, which was like my go-to cooldown, and they gave Evangelism, which just makes Power Word Radiance instant cast. So you do have something, but it just feels like an extra ability, and you have to remember to use it. It doesn't have a super long cooldown. I think it's like 45 seconds. Just unfortunately a lot of little things that are to get used to. So how am I supposed to avoid this? Exactly. Interesting. Are they resing me? So, yeah.
1.
Then after all of that, I kind of got a bit discouraged with the whole... Am I supposed to stay in the... Okay, maybe I'm supposed to stay in this and, like, soak it. I usually get out of something on the floor. No? I'm so confused. What does it actually say? It just says quack. Well, yeah, soaking this seems to be working better until we get to the floor. It looked like a sprint, so I assumed I was supposed to run. Go ahead and use a frenzied regeneration just to keep my health up. Oh, so close. But I am starting to figure it out, so. I wonder. Okay, first of all, let's go to the. Let's go sell some of this junk. What we're getting. I thought I had some. Oh, there we go. So I wonder. Am I allowed to use these? I am. Increased by 6 for what good that does. Do I have any? Let's see. Consumables. Disorient. Restore health. Become well fed. Increases movement speed. No. I think I'm just supposed to soak, because I wasn't taking fire damage there for a second, so I think that's what I'm intended to do. What is this? Honorless target. Okay. So I'm just going to try to soak again, because I got pretty close. There's nobody down there. Why am I in queue? Okay. If I don't get it this time, might just go ahead and take a break. Look this fight up. Let's go ahead and get Frenzy Regeneration back out. There we go. So, Kalterian, which is what this Druid is, has a little bit of a self-heal. So it works really well with Frenzy Regeneration. So the quacking is turning into some sort of a debuff. Go ahead. Actually, let's pull him over here so when the fire does start, we're not right in the middle of the room. Yeah, it's coming up like it's a debuff, so I don't think I'm supposed to use that. Frenzy Regeneration. Come on. Go ahead and use Renew. Come on. Yes, I think. Oh, so close. Yeah, I think it might be time to take a break. Figure out exactly what I'm doing wrong on the Quacken. Okay, so it's a little while later. I looked up the Quacken fight, and the fire on the floor is the enrage timer. Each boss has a 2-minute window to defeat them. And so that's what the fire is. It is the enrage timer. I did also see where people were saying that before the stats squish, the fight was a tad bit easier, so it's a bit of a disadvantage there with the stats squish. So I, in general, thought it might be good to look and see if I could upgrade some gear. So I swapped a couple things out. I swapped out my weapon because I had this weird weapon that had a weird effect when I was running the Megaforce raid. So swapped that out for something that had versatility and mastery. Wasn't quite able to upgrade it higher, but it is a better weapon just overall. So I will eventually be able to upgrade it higher, presumably. And then swapped out a ring, which was Adventurer, so it was well overdue, badly in need of upgrading. So swapped that out for the Logic Gate Alpha, which I was able to upgrade much higher than that. So Critical Strike and Mastery. So hopefully that will be enough, because I was getting very close to defeating that boss. I remember Bling. So, yeah.
2,
Get this boss done. This poor person has been here. That poor paladin has been here for hours now. It is almost 2 in the morning. I don't know why all of a sudden there are more people here. You would think in general it would be a little late, but maybe I'm wrong.
1,
Let me see here. I can buy the barricade. For what good that'll do. And yeah. Haven't done much with my horde house yet, so kind of just collecting things. I have an idea for a room in my alliance house, but I need to work on getting some items. So okay, so yeah. Also found out I am supposed to be avoiding the stuff on the floor. Although, being a tank, I don't know if that's, all that necessary from what we've been seeing. So. And then I am supposed to be using the effect, trying to stay out of stuff. Yeah, I did intend to do the Brawlers Guild sooner, so. Okay, let's spin. Oh, that was an inopportune time to. Yeah, I think the moving is becoming a bit of a problem. I don't think it necessarily means as much for me being a tank. don't think I'm going to get it this time. I think I moved too much. That was the issue, maybe? Yeah, I moved too much. So, 13%, so. I think if I just stay in one spot, I think for being a tank, I don't think the moving is as much of an issue, so. Try it again.
Slow down. Until next time.
2,
I think I remember fighting Blingtron. He is not taking a lot of damage. No, he is not. What is this? Oh, queued for the brawl. Yeah. I like how we're all lined up here just watching this. Oh, there we go. Nope. Yeah, just didn't quite get there.
one,
No, she seems a little bit more geared for this. But Retribution Paladins are kind of known for their burst damage, so I am not surprised. Okay. So the strategy is to just stay in one spot, get the dots out, just do damage. Let's go ahead, I'll probably use that at the inopportune time again. Not sure what this does, but what I saw said make sure you use it, so. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and heal. Just make sure we keep our dots out. It's gonna be awfully close. ahead and use Frenzied Regeneration. 30 seconds. Nope. 16. Keep getting so close. I don't see what moving in or out is doing. I don't even see what using the button when I am polymorphed is doing, but apparently it is doing something. Yeah, it doesn't show up in my combat log. And unfortunately, see, this is where recount would come in useful, because I could actually see if it was doing something damage-wise. Okay, I'm going to try one more time, I think, and then
1.
might just work on upgrading my gear a bit more. I think that might be part of the problem. I don't think switching over to feral would be beneficial. I mean, I'm getting very close, so... Also, kind of was hoping I would have some gear. The ring came from the pre-patch event. The ring and the weapon. I was hoping I would have something that had a little more haste on it. Because my mastery is good for health and healing in long fights, but, well, it does increase attack power, so... I was going to say it doesn't actually, outside of attack power though, it doesn't, it's not a mastery that buffs anything else as far as damage, so. And unfortunately, health and healing is not my issue. Looked on Wowhead, there are no comments for this, so either a lot of players haven't tried to do this yet, or I'm just struggling a little more because I'm trying to do this as a tank, one of the two. Get regrowth in, okay, so... Yeah, see, it doesn't seem like it's putting a buff on him or anything. That, I took a lot of damage there. Minute. Sadly, I don't think I'm gonna get it this time. I'm getting so close. I was actually closer before, oddly enough. So, got down to like 4% before. Okay, so I am as strange as it sounds. Apparently that extra critical strike was doing something, so maybe... Oh, there's haste. There's quite a bit of haste. Well, 12. It's up from 9. So... let's... The ring is very low. Critical strike and mastery. Yeah, so let's try with the higher critical strike. Higher critical strike, higher haste. Oh no, I went back down to 6. But yeah, the extra critical strike might have been doing more than I realized, so.
Speak up. Goodbye.
3,
Getting very close. Go ahead and put this back on, which increases versatility, so. Yeah, now versatility does increase damage and healing. Of course, critical strike is extra. Chance for extra effectiveness on attacks and heals, so. I might get lucky, because I think it's going to come down to, unless you're just completely overpowered as a DPS spec, I think it's going to come down to a bit of an RNG thing, so. And a lot of my gear could still be upgraded. I'm by no means where I should be, so there's that as well. I've only played Guardian on this character. I don't even have Feral set up. I do have abilities, but
1,
again, the way we're all just lined up here watching. I'm almost positive if I had my gear upgraded a bit more. What am I currently using? Increases your versatility. Yeah, might really look at that. Had it on versatility when I was doing Delve, but I haven't done Delves in quite a while now. So I finished the track for more delves, probably a couple months ago now, so. Could potentially swap some things around, but versatility is generally good. That was the point of them adding versatility in, was to have just kind of a stat that you could have that was more neutral, so they added that in right after reforging, so okay. I think I need to get the health down more, like in between the polymorphs than what I am, obviously, so. Okay, so I should have my cooldowns will be off cooldown after this. There we go. Use both of them. Printed regeneration. Seconds. Okay, I think we were here once before. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I see the lava heating up. Come on. Yes. Okay. Oh. That was a lot. Okay. Well, I'll take a look at the next boss, because that was the end of, I should be, what, 3? Yeah, 3 of 8.
Until next time.
But,
5.
I feel like that was a good conclusion. That was actually a bit of work, so. So there we go. So apparently Critical Strike, I was keeping around 20 something so that I was getting the procs from regrowth. Where was it? They've moved things. Can I not spell? There we go. That's over time. Cast over effectiveness. There we go. Yeah.
4.
When you take non-periodic damage, you have a chance to cause your next redeath. Yeah. So I had figured out somewhere along the line about 22% was what I needed to get the procs to happen frequently enough to make the healing worthwhile, viable when I needed it. So, and then like I said, if we look at where is it? There we go. Brush it off. So increases versatility when you take
3.
damage, heal for 2% of that amount. So it's not bad for a Druid with frenzied regeneration. Works well. So. So now apparently you need 30. Still would like more haste. I think that's part of the problem, because haste will affect your global cooldown as well. So haste is not generally a bad thing. Up around 20% diminishing returns typically kick in, as far as I know. Like, it's always been that way to some degree. Unless you have a specific stat. Like mastery can usually go a little higher. Versatility, I think, can go a little higher. And then things like dodge and parry, I don't know. I think parry has a diminishing return. I'm not sure about dodge. But, yeah, typically, like, the amount ends up being so small that it's not really worth trying to stack it much further. So I am surprised that... I'm not surprised that 30% made a difference. I could have just upgraded that ring and been done with it. So, yeah.
2.
That is a dinosaur on a hoverboard. With an undead playing guitar on top. Very nice.
One.
I could be putting buffs on these people. They are all, oh, I guess that's a Druid. I guess he has his own buff, but, okay. Okay. And what am I up against now? A shark. Am I going to be defeated by a shark? He's just flailing randomly on the ground. See, now I'm kind of self-conscious because I know they only have like a 2-minute... no, there we go. Of course not. So, I think like most of them, as I was saying earlier, I think like most of them are fairly straightforward. throw a bottle. We used to be able to throw a bottle. There are a few that just require some coordination. Yeah, so it seems like every rank is just 1,000, which I like.
Goodbye.
2,
I don't know why I'm getting closer. It doesn't change the camera at all, so. Now, I think when I did this before, I don't remember it being terribly difficult, but I think I did it on an enhancement shaman, like just one of my alt characters for some reason. I was trying to do something.
1,
So. I wanted to play around with Retribution, but then I ended up setting a character up for protection. So. Okay. What are we up to now? And it's a blob. So. Not used to Moonfire and proc. It didn't have proc before, so. Okay, simple enough. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, a lot of them are just kind of rinse and repeat. They're not terribly difficult if you're somewhat geared. I think that was kind of the point, was to have something more, not proving grounds, but something, you know, more in the middle between like a training dummy and proving grounds. So didn't care for proving grounds. You had to, if you didn't play through Warlords, which a lot could be said for that in and of itself, in order to unlock the heroic dungeons, you had to do the actual proving grounds. You didn't have to, I don't think you had to get very high, but I remember you had to go through like a couple different rounds of it. That might help if I actually queue. I don't think anybody's queued. I think we're all just standing around.
1,
So. Yeah, that was not fun. And well, the other thing is too, proving grounds went by your whatever role you were. So if you were a tank, you had to do a tanking one that was different. If you were a DPS, you had to do a DPS one. So it was constantly changing and getting more difficult. And the tanking. The healing one was the first time they put, okay, that was random. It was the first time they had put any type of, I should have looked at what killed me. You died. Yes, I'm aware of that. What did I die from? Oh, there we go. Melee. Okay, so it's just... Okay. It was the first time you actually had, you know, like AI NPCs.
What do
So
you need? Enough of that.
you had a group,
1.
and you had to keep them healed, and they weren't bad. They weren't perfect. It wasn't. I think they've improved with the follower dungeons from that, but it definitely was not bad. So might help if I use my cooldowns. Try to pay attention to. Did I hit the rage tail or something? Or what did I miss there? Okay, so it's the pursuit. Is that what did it? Because I don't see how you. That's not what I want to do. There we go. I don't see how you avoid that.
Speak up. White
1.
Tiger watch over you.
And this is the second to
Enough of that.
last boss for level 3, so this is proving encouraging. Try 1 or 2 more times, and then probably just leave it here for the moment. So. Got almost to rank 4 out of 8 ranks. I feel like that's pretty good. So I expected progress would slow as things went on. So from what I remembered before. Yeah. Okay, horrific pursuit. So am I supposed to avoid him? I think I'm supposed to avoid him. I think that's the problem. Yeah.
Slow down. Until next
Yeah, I'll
2.
probably try like 1 more time and then take a break, look this up, maybe work on upgrading my gear a bit, because I don't really, as I said, don't really have much to do. I was kind of, so a little disappointed, if I'm being honest, that PvP wasn't going better. Sometimes, end of the expansion and beginning of the expansion, sometimes PvP can be really nice, because people aren't all geared, and it's a bit
1.
more of a free-for-all. There's no like specific classes or specs people are playing. They're just leveling, getting ready to do whatever grind is gonna start the expansion. So usually up until usually the second expansion is where we get like the sandbox patch. Ever since Timeless Eyes. So I actually had a pretty good one with Undermine. A lot of people liked Undermine. I liked Undermine. Still farming sets from the Undermine, the world sets. So I'm gonna have to pick a tune and kind of leave them there. I want to get in a habit of doing that like every week. So you just have to do the okay. So I think what I need to do is go to like a far end so I can run away. Oh, he goes to the middle. Okay, so it lasts for 3. Oh! Okay. I see. I think I see what I need to do now. So, one more time. I will try one more time. And then take a break if it doesn't, nothing happens this time, so.
What do you need? Goodbye.
2,
Because it ends up being like an RNG thing where you just have to keep doing it over and over and over again until you get it just right, which I don't mind, but that does get
1,
tiresome. Starts to wear on you at a certain point, so. You can only do it so many times. I wasn't sure kind of how far I was going to get, so I got further than what or I'll say I'm pleased with how far I've gotten, so. I remember even on my enhancement shaman getting a bit stuck like this on some bosses, so I was prepared for that. Okay. So I think if I just run around in circles. Yes, and then that falls off. Ooh, I'm on the wrong. Yes, I just gotta run around in circles. On the edge till it falls off. And there we go. Okay. That was simple enough. Oh, it might help if I put my like we're just randomly cheering for each other. So I will look at the last boss.
Enough of that.
See how
3,
difficult that's going to be. And then go there. Is this the one I did earlier? It looks like the one I did earlier. Don't know that I've ever done it on anything with this on a caster. I'm pretty sure I know the most that I've done was on my enhancement shaman. And then if I reach, I think they only got to level 6. Pretty sure it was just level 6. Level 6 or 7. I know I
2,
didn't get to 8. If yeah, if I get to level 6, then we'll have done as much on this character as I have on my enhancement shaman. almost seems like I did try to do something on a caster. I
1.
don't know if it was my mage. I have a brief memory of looking at this when it first came out. And like dying once and then just giving up like this isn't for me. Like nope, I'm not doing it. This isn't for me. So, but I healed a lot in the early, well actually for quite a while. This was probably the first expansion that I didn't really heal for most of it. I tried doing Mythic Plus, and with the changes and everything, I just couldn't get any momentum going, and just kind of gave up on it. So I really want to do something with PvP. I think in midnight, or at least I'm gonna attempt to in the beginning, and then go from there. It's kind of hard to know what. Okay. Well, there's level 4. That was absurdly simple. It's hard to know exactly what to do in an expansion because you don't know what the expansion's going to be good at. And there we go. There's 3. That's what I wanted. So, yeah. Wanted the teleportation ring. Thought you needed to be level 6. Apparently you only need to be level 4. So, yeah. That feels like a good place to cap it. I would like to maybe try and get some of these housing items. Now, as I said, I'm not a big fan of those. I've got the engineering one and I never use it. And not really a huge fan of this transmog set. So I think I was trying to get the these. This heirloom weapon when I brought my enhancement shaman. Here, yeah, the gloves would be nice. They're 7, so. And I've already got a basketless type mount, so not super. Not super interested in that necessarily, so.